Good morning, New Zealand. It is Friday morning. It is the 16th of May. It's also Pink Shirt Day, so we need to talk about that. Always good to get to the end of the week. Hello, New Zealand. Good to be at your place, and I'll try and not knock out the cord for the audio this time so that you can actually hear the whole presentation. Sorry about that on Wednesday. That was a bit of a learning curve. Thank you for all the notifications, though. The other notification that we got this week was the Innocenti report. This is by UNICEF. It's done over all the OECD countries, so it's about 38 countries. This year it's called The Child Wellbeing in an Unpredictable World. And in terms of a report card, if you were taking this report card home from school to your parents, you would be ashamed and embarrassed. Just a quick look. In the overall table, that is us right down the bottom there at, number 32. We are one of the worst in terms of mental health, physical health, and some of the tables. This is our suicide rates. We've got the highest suicide rate in the OECD for 15 to 19 year olds, and we've got the second highest rate of bullying in the OECD as well. I mean, the report it's depressing reading just how bad things have got in New Zealand and the social fabric of our country. Now, you may be saying, well, Bob, it's Pink Shirt Day. All the more reason to wear the pink shirt. Look, let me be quite blunt. If Pink Shirt Day was about anti-bullying of all students for all reasons and simply focused on the anti-bullying message, I'd be right behind it. But it's not. And people need to wake up and really understand the agenda behind it. And look, when you have role models like this being pushed, and when you're pushing books at kids, even at preschool, that talk about my shadow is pink, and this book, Raven Wild, the transition from the boy she once presented herself to be into the woman. This is aimed at primary and ECE, you can see up the top there. And the role models of someone who is a person of faith, an Anglican priest, and a transgender woman. Or maybe these role models of high school students who want to allow dudes into the female toilets and changing areas. And you just have to look at what is the general focus of Pink Shirt Day and the anti-bullying. Where do you go to from here? Start a rainbow group. Celebrate Pride Week. Encourage your school to be inclusive by getting Inside Out. And of course, as we all know, Inside Out is the group that have brought about the whole radical RSE. So as I said, if it was anti-bullying, we should be all behind it because we do have a problem in our schools. But the issue is that kids are being bullied for all reasons, and all kids are bullying at some level, and we need to tackle the whole problem, not use it as an opportunity to bring in radical sexuality and gender ideology. And actually, I was interested to see that even in the UK, it is also a problem. Did I put up? Oh, no, actually, sorry, I just did see this article in the Listener. And sometimes, people say, oh, look, Bob, I haven't really seen evidence of this in Pink Shirt Day. Sometimes the actual activists say the quiet but out loud. And this happened in this Listener article. Okay, and it had this. Listen to this. Drag queen story hours, commonly held at community libraries, became an important institution for progressive parents, exposing their children to the idea that there were gender options available to them outside the traditional boundaries of cis heterosexuality. Now, they've said the quiet but out loud. They've admitted that drag queen story hours at libraries is all about pushing gender options. It's not reading children's books. We need to open our eyes to the agenda behind all of this, and so unfortunately, this is exactly what's being pushed now. I have got this article. I'm just trying to find the image that I put up. Oh, here it is. A Christian group has accused the Church of England for doing the same type of thing. The group is Christian Concern, very good group in the UK. And they've accused the Church of England of promoting woke indoctrination through newly revised anti-bullying guidance for its schools. And they say that they've basically replaced biblical principles with progressive ideology. Christian Concern claim the guidance serves as a vehicle for critical theory and ideology that challenges traditional social power structures and is often associated with cultural Marxism rather than a biblical worldview. But here's the key thing. The Church of England guidance defines human flourishing as allowing children to fully explore and experience aspects of their protected characteristics, such as gender identity and sexual identity. I mean, those are all code words for radical sexuality and gender ideology. And that's the problem with Pink Shirt Day. By association, you're associating with groups that want to radicalize and indoctrinate your children with radical gender and sexuality ideas. As I was thinking about this, it's great intent, great messaging, but if you're going to do anti-bullying, do it separate from Pink Shirt Day, because this is the problem. And let me just throw out a Bible verse here. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? You won't often find me quoting a Bible verse on Daybreak, but it is very relevant for today because it is the association with what is behind Pink Shirt Day, the ideology that's being pushed at kids. It's not just about anti-bullying. If it was, I would support it, but I don't support Pink Shirt Day because you can see the ideology that is behind it. Just to add to that, Lorde is confused. This is in the Daily Wire, probably in the New Zealand media. They'll be trumpeting it all day as soon as they pick it up. Singer Lorde has given a lengthy interview promoting her new album, Virgin, during which she discussed how she doesn't fully identify with either gender. Lorde told Rolling Stone that she's in the middle gender-wise. She said, "I'm a woman, except for the days when I'm a man." She mentioned going off birth control 2 years ago as being a turning point in her thoughts about gender. She said that action led to her feeling as though she cut some sort of cord between myself and this regulated femininity. It sounds crazy, but I feel that all of a sudden I was off the map of femininity, and I totally believe that allowed things to open up. And then, of course, it talks about Lorde being a native of New Zealand. She is the latest in a long line of celebrities and entertainers to embrace radical left-wing gender theory and identify as someone different from the standard gender binary. Well, Lorde dear, when you've gone off birth control, if and when you become pregnant, that will reinforce who you what you are biologically, and you are female. Interesting story that RFK Jr, who is the head of the Department of Health and Human Services, says he's requested the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, to do a complete review of the abortion pill, which is becoming more and more commonly used in New Zealand as well. And that's because of this analysis that we reported, 2 weeks ago, that found that more than 1 in 10 women experienced a serious adverse event after taking mifepristone, the abortion pill, including hemorrhaging, needing a blood transfusion, an emergency room visit, and even deadly conditions like sepsis. And the risk is 22 times higher than what the FDA says it is. Now, it's higher than what the Ministry of Health says, who says it's safe as. So we've actually sent this research to the Ministry of Health and to MedSafe, and asking them for their response, but RFK Jr. at least is asking the right questions. I do want to touch on Stuff's hypocrisy regarding the C word. But just before I do that, I want to call out Disney's hypocrisy. Remember Disney? Remember they sparred with Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida over what the company claimed was the Don't Say Gay bill. Do you remember all that furor? And it was because they wanted to introduce radical sexuality and gender into primary schools. Sound familiar? Think Pink Shirt Day. And Disney said it's the Don't Say Gay bill, which it wasn't. It was just about not indoctrinating and confusing young children. But Disney now says that they plan to build a new theme park in the United Arab Emirates. Yes, a Middle Eastern country that criminalizes homosexuality. It's going to open its 7th park, and as this article says off Fox News, the UAE, however, has a history of human rights violations, including the criminalization of homosexuality. So there we are. Disney is woke. They have some principles, but if there's money involved, they have some other principles. Quite a classic. Continuing discussion about the social media ban and what the solution should be. My concern is that some people just say, well, it involves digital IDs, so therefore we shouldn't even tackle the issue of the harm being done to young people. I think there's a balance. There's a middle ground where we can deal with the concerns about overreaching of the government in digital IDs, but at the same time also hold social media companies accountable and protect our kids. And we need to. Excellent article. The New Zealand, Patrick Walsh, who is a secondary school principal, he was actually part of our campaign on the Say No to Dope campaign back in 2020. So a good ally, good friend. And he just writes, the risks and harms to young people can be extremely serious, life-changing, and cause permanent harm, including countless lost hours of educational opportunities and physical activity due to the addictive nature of social media. It has, for some, contributed to heightened anxiety and insomnia. In a school setting, our counsellors are often inundated with students dealing with the effects of the misuse of social media, including poor self-esteem and social withdrawal. At the extreme end, it is a direct contributor to depression, self-harm and suicidal ideation. Deans in schools pick up the pieces every Monday morning from offensive or threatening social media posts over the weekend. So it's a form of bullying. Hey, this is the type of bullying we need to tackle. You don't need a pink shirt to tackle that, and you don't need to indoctrinate sexuality and gender confusion to deal with that type of bullying. So very good article. Just remind, we talked about Stuff's hypocrisy. You know, they talk about the misogyny towards female MPs and towards female TV presenters and media people, and then one of their own female journalists calls a whole lot of female MPs the C word. Interestingly, I found this little policy on their website that says actually Stuff are supposed to avoid profanity and obscene language, and, you know, kind of like unless it's integral, the best option is to omit it. They can't even follow their own guidelines, although ironically, here's a second irony about the whole media coverage of this story. And I mean, the media are not covering themselves in glory in the way they're covering all of this, because they call out misogyny, but then when somebody from the media is misogynistic towards female MPs, suddenly it's not a big deal. But here's Stuff's reporting of during the week when Brooke Van Velden, the ACT MP, dropped the C word in Parliament. I don't agree with that. I don't think she should have used the full word. She could have said the C word. We know what she meant. But Stuff, for the video, they said video contains explicit language. Warning, warning, warning. Somebody should have told Andrea Vance when she did her article for the Sunday Star Times. I'll be watching that one with interest. Jaguar Land Rover, they had a bit of a mess up because they did this woke ad on Jaguars where they didn't actually, it lacked one key ingredient, and it was any reference to cars. It was just all these kind of, they went from Jaguar to Draguar, sort of drag queens, non-binary, very trendy. The problem is that they're looking to replace their advertising agency because it was a disaster. And at the time, the boss of Jaguar said, oh, if you don't like the ad, it's just vile hatred and a blaze of intolerance. Well, the boss of Jaguar has decided that actually the vile hatred and the blaze of intolerance might have been legitimate, and they need to change their advertiser. Go woke, go broke, something like that. Just on that social media one, I was interested in this story from Kansas. And it's a story about a child who accessed hardcore pornography after 4 porn sites violated Kansas's age verification law. Now, NCOSE, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, has filed the suit. NCOSE might sound familiar because we have the person who is an advisor and who used to be the leader of NCOSE, Dawn Hawkins, speaking at our forum on the family in August. But NCOSE explains that though the mother had diligently supervised the child's online activity, the child successfully searched for pornography on an old laptop. And so Kansas is one of more than 20 states that require pornography companies to verify the ages of their consumers. I like that age verification. I think that's important, especially to protect children. And NCOSE alleges the defendants violated this law by allowing the child to access hardcore pornography on their platforms without checking their age. Great example of how we can call social media companies and pornography companies to account. And I think we need to do that. Just one other story that you may see, it's the lead story on Radio New Zealand this morning. Judith Collins is getting into trouble. She's a public service minister. And apparently the public service, they do this sector-wide survey, and it's a voluntary survey, so anybody in the public sector can fill it in. And she removed questions around religion, te reo Māori, and rainbow identities because she said it's not relevant. It hinges on their privacy, and it's not relevant to the public service getting on with the job. Wow, that's fresh thinking, isn't it? So apparently she removed questions. This is a survey of the public service when they should be working, not filling in surveys. But she removed questions around disability, rainbow identities, religion, te reo Māori proficiency levels. She added a new question where public servants were asked, do they give excellent value for their salary? That's a good question. And would they rate their manager as someone who cares about the effect of their work? Good question. Also took out a question that talked about inclusive workplaces and just asked, is it a workplace where people are respectful towards one another? Good question. Questions about sexual orientation and trans or intersex identities and whether people were referred to using their preferred pronouns were replaced with a single yes or no question about whether people identified LGBTQIA. What's the U? LGBTQIA plus. Okay, I can't keep up. The question was about religion was retained after it was pointed out that this was a recommendation from the Royal Commission inquiry into the Christchurch terror attacks. Well, religion isn't the key. It's actually the radicalisation, which was the key with the horrific Christchurch terror attacks. Anyway, that'll be the key story coming out of some media about naughty Judith Collins for actually expecting the public service just to get on and deliver good products. Now, just finally, I did an interview with Winston Peters about the MPs badly behaving. He calls it a house of chaos. In fact, he has been in Parliament 47 years and he says the behaviour is just shocking. And interestingly, he said it sort of started when Trevor Mallard became the Speaker of the House. So I did find that interesting. All right, let's just check a couple of topics here. Dee Dee says, can you trust UNICEF? I mean, that's a very good question with their Innocenti report. It is surveys based on a whole lot of countries. It has been reliable because it is objective data. So, yeah, you just move through the subjectivity with some of their stuff. Matthew says, just let children be children. That's in relation to Pink Shirt Day. What else? Ray says, I found when participating in government surveys, they can often be manipulated and skewed to change the results. Rosie says, I was bullied from primary school up to and including high school. I wasn't just bullied by fellow students. I was also bullied by teachers. It may be true. There was a case yesterday apparently about a teacher who was suspended for bullying. Alex says the government still financially supports Inside Out. Yes, it does, sadly. The good news is that the Minister of Education doesn't talk to Inside Out, but yes, take the funding away. Alex says, watch where you throw your papers, Bob. Hey, we got through with the microphone working for the whole show, so that's got to be a good thing. And just checking these comments over here. No, all good. Morning, Nans. Nani. Okay, I think that's it. That's the end of the week. So we will see you back Monday morning for Daybreak, and you have a great weekend.